All right, what's up, world? It's the Javelin Breakdown, and you're in my car for episode 1 of season 2 of the Javelin Breakdown show. This was the quietest place I could find, so it's just you, me, my car, and the unopened baby car seat behind me. My daughter is not born yet, but hopefully soon, and so we continue to wait patiently. So we're in my car bringing you episode 1. It's been a wild week. It's been a wild, really 2 weeks, as some people threw last week and probably even the week before that for javelin throwing. So we're going to cover a lot of stuff this show. Hopefully I didn't miss anything too big. Hopefully I don't butcher anyone's names too poorly. But as always, remember that this is a show for fun. I'm all about the community and uplifting people, so just keep that in mind. So we're starting off today's episode in South Africa. If you didn't see, Jacob Vadlech opened his season at a World Athletics Grand Prix and managed to throw his javelin from one runway to another. And so the runway that he was throwing on, I should say the facility he was at, kind of had 2 runways, both sticking out well into the infield. So from the end of the runway he was throwing on to the other was about 87 meters. And so he managed to throw his javelin and strike the track at the other end. And I think the official was so bewildered that he accidentally raised the red flag you'll see in this clip here. And so it was not a foul. They did mark the throw, but he accidentally raised the wrong flag. And I might have too, just in shock out of the javelin hitting the runway. But that's why you probably shouldn't have a 90-meter thrower throwing in a stadium where there's obstacles well within his capacity. At the European Winter Throwing Cup, which is always a great meet, Artur Felfner came away with the win, throwing 81-89 in not ideal conditions. It was kind of raining and cold. Everybody was bundled up all morning, so it was really nice to see him put together a nice throw. And then it was also great to see Ioannis Chrysonis of Greece break 80 meters. He threw 88 meters a number of years ago while he was at Texas A&M, so great to see him break 80 meters and still throwing. And then Max Denning coming off a monster lifetime best, breaking 80 meters. So good to see that, it wasn't just that one day. Like he's going to be moving into being, an 80-meter thrower and hopefully moving towards Kenny B at the top of the world after producing such a monster throw, which, everybody I think was pretty shocked by, but sometimes, preparation meets opportunity and lightning strikes in the javelin. That's what's really cool about the event. So really exciting young talent. Excited to see he's got a lot of hopefully a lot of years left, a lot of big throws left in the tank, and this is just the beginning. And so really cool to see that happen the other day. The day before the men's competition, Adriana Vallejos won the Women's European Throwing Cup with a great throw of 61-17. She looked really comfortable. As you can see here, she looks like she's moving well. So despite being really young, she's got some really good experience at a higher level, and I think this year definitely going to be in the conversation for making the Olympic final and pushing towards the top there. So exciting to see her start her season so well. I was a little disappointed to see Sigrid Borg and Elena Tinzenko and Maria Andrejic struggle. A number of others just not really looking too strong, but it is early and they have lots of time. Professional season obviously gets really serious through the summer, and so they've got time. And now the moment you've been waiting for, let's talk about Mike Stein and his monster weekend. So breaking down his meet, he opened round 1 with PR 75-69, which is just amazing, right? Second throw, 67-75, and then 75-21. So he's starting to feel things out here. And then going into finals, he makes some corrections, and that's when lightning really strikes. And so round 4, he goes 79-26, and then 73-62, and then in round 6, 78-03. So just an absolute monster performance from Mike. I don't think anybody should be surprised by this. Mike is extremely consistent, extremely dedicated, and when you're that consistent, when you work that hard and you've been doing, every day the right things, good things are going to happen. And so, I'm not surprised, very excited for Mike, well deserved, and I'm just this season it's going to be really cool to see. His progression is just unbelievable, but he's worked really, really hard, and when you've got God-given capacity to be that good, and then you work really, really, really hard, like, you're gonna do well. And so really, really exciting to see Mike open his season on just such a big throw. And then a few hours later in the women's competition, his teammate Elizabeth won with 50.62, which is a PR for her. So Iowa throws off to a strong start this season. Moving a little south of Florida in Puerto Rico, Texas A&M and a number of other teams traveled to what was the 18th Carolina Spring Break Classic, I believe was the name. And so some really strong results there. So in the men's competition, Sam Hankins went off 77.95. PR by like a meter and a half off an already an amazing 76-meter best from last year's Nationals, where he PR'd multiple times to be an All-American as a freshman in an incredible competition. So Sam starting the year flying, but I'm not surprised. The A&M program is really, really solid. Coach Chico is a legend, so that squad is just ready to rock and roll. Also really excited to see Josh Mather now at Texas A&M. He was formerly at Rutgers, so excited to see what he's going to do as part of this super squad. The A&M women also came out flying, taking 6 of the top 7 spots in the competition, with Leanna Davidson leading the charge, 57.28. That is a monster season opener for her, just a few feet shy of her personal best. This is a meet record. I also forgot to mention Sam's throw was also a meet record. So meet record, massive season's best and opener for Liana. Following her in 3rd and 4th place, the Fairchild sisters starting off strong. And I want to shout Caitlin's throw at this meet is a little bit further than last year's opener, and this is just so scary to think about because both Liana and Caitlin just had an amazing progression through all of last year. So they're already starting in better position, sharper, and so their ceiling this season is going to be even higher, as is, I'm sure, many of the other top women. So again, this year is just, you saw in the thumbnail, it's the year of the javelin. People are just going to go off. I'm calling it. And so already the A&M women really sharp. Now in 2nd place, not a collegian anymore, Sofia Rivera opens her season 54.54. So she's not in school anymore, but she's still training in Missouri. So a strong season opener for her, and she recently got engaged to fellow thrower Kaya Bass. So congratulations to the two of them, and a strong opener for Sophia. So excited to see as she builds this year, and is certainly looking to potentially qualify and represent Puerto Rico this season. Next, at the West Kitley Invitational, Texas A&M got their season started. Really excited to see these two freshmen, Leah Howard and Kais Holland, 1st and 2nd place, getting over 46 meters. Strong season openers for them. They both boast PRs over 49 meters. Some of the top high schoolers coming into college this year. So really exciting to see them. A strong program. At the Arizona Spring Break Invitational, BYU got their season started, and your All-American from last year, Cameron Bates, wasted no time putting up a big mark, 75.15 to win there, which is awesome. And I want to also shout out Michael Whitaker, who's returning from an injury and just has been grinding the last year to get back and be healthy. Not quite what he was looking for, we were chatting, but he's definitely going to be a threat this season. He's put up some big numbers in training, and I think if he can stay healthy, definitely going to be in the conversation. So wanted to shout him out. But a big throw for Cameron Bates starting his year really strong. On the women's side, Ariana Moraes took the win, 53.14. She was the winning thrower at Mount Sac last year with a big PR, I think over 57 meters, so she starts her year over 53. Elizabeth Parkinson of BYU breaking 50.93. And in 3rd, Laura Lindquist, PR, representing Washington State through 49.90. Moving back to Florida, which was really the hot spot of this weekend's meets, Steve Kopani of Rutgers had a very strong opening meet, 70.02 for a season's best, his PR 70.47, so being right there, that's an amazing opener, really strong. Freshman Kevin Burr, amazing throw, 68.59. This is only his 2nd year throwing, so he threw 204 last year in his 1st season throwing as a high school senior, which is just ridiculous. Throwing 68.59 in your first college meet, 2nd year throwing, just absurd progress. So if Kevin can stay the course, he's got good teammates, exciting talent, we'll see what he can do. Also a strong start for Ethan Coco, 68.50. So Ethan with a monster PR to get himself into NCAA's last year, starting off his season really strong within a few meters of his PR. So exciting for the Clemson star. And finally, want to shout out from this meet, Liam Kahn, post-collegiate, throwing 66.99. Not what he was looking for, but for those of you that are post-collegiate, it's hard. It's hard to work and train and just balance all those things when you're in college. You have all these resources available to you, and when you're on your own outside of college, it's difficult. But Liam's part of a great group training under Sean Fury, and so excited to see what Liam's going to be able to do this year now that he's gotten some good training under his belt over the last year and change coming off of an injury during college. Flipping over to one of his teammates on the women's side, Julia Campuzano, 48.63, which is very close to her personal best, so a really strong opener for her. So I mentioned, Julia and Liam train under Sean, so they've got a great group there with a number of other awesome throwers. So if you don't follow Sean Fury on Instagram in that group, you definitely should be, because Sean drops tons of training knowledge. Sean's a legend, and so you definitely should be doing that. Looking at the collegians from this meet, Kayla Thorpe from Maryland, strong opener, 48.26. Olivia Norris, PR, 46.60. This is a 2-meter PR for her, so congrats to her. And then I also want to shout out Madison Griffin. This is what I love about community. I put results on my story, and people message me and give me the scoop about stuff. And so Dan Freeman let me know that, hey, Madison's pretty new to Javelin, coming from softball. And so 46.07, pretty early in her time with Javelin. That's really impressive. So exciting to see what she's going to be able to do with more time under her belt. Thanks, Dan, for the scoop. At the Miami Invitational, the performance list was just absurd, and the results definitely backed it up. So Remy Reguette winning the men's competition, 74.68, PR on his opening throw. What a way to start the year. Remy's definitely going to be looking to have a really strong year after a solid year last year, but just missing All-American status, which was really unfortunate. So he's going to be out to get after it this season. Remy was closely followed by Division III transfer Will Lawrence. So Will throwing 73.14 in his first meet representing LSU, which has quite the squad now. So Will throwing 73, and Will's teammate Jackson Rhymes 71.22 to take fourth. They've obviously got Zuriel Padigo, your defending champion, and then coming in next year, they've got one of the top high schoolers who's leading the country right now with a 215-foot throw. So LSU is building quite the group. But in third place, Remy's teammate Frank threw 71.86, which is a really solid throw. So Mississippi State has always had a really strong program dating back to the JAV-U original squad. You got Curtis Thompson and Anderson Peters and a number of other studs, DJ Johnson. So they're continuing the great tradition of Javelin at Mississippi State. Now, I mentioned Zuriel, tough meet for him. He only managed a 65-meter throw, and then the rest were all foul. So not sure if he just stepped over the line on purpose and wasn't happy with how they were flying. Hoping he's healthy and things are all right and just needs to regroup technically. Certainly looking forward to seeing him later this year back to his usual form. Just an incredible season last year, and I'm sure he's looking to have a big year this year. On the women's side, LSU also had a really strong performance. So their freshman Trinity Spooner, 53.58, and Alexis Gullery, 50.21. So 2 PRs for the LSU freshmen, which is really exciting. It's interesting how many duos there are. You know, last year I kept referring to the duo, Liana and Caitlin, and now Caitlin's sister's there. So Texas Tech has the freshman duo, and LSU now has a freshman duo. So it'll be exciting to see how they do this season. Taking second at the Miami meet, Ella Knott, 17-centimeter PR, so congratulations to Ella. At the Yellow Jacket Invitational, Erin Zimmerman takes the win in the women's competition, 51.18. This is a PR for the senior at Missouri, who easily have the largest javelin squad in the country. So always exciting to see them throw when they do, because they just have so many throwers and they're all really good. But congratulations to Erin, the senior, for taking the win and the PR. Was hoping to see Skylar Ciccolini throw a little further, but at the end of the day, it's exciting to see that she's throwing. Seems to be healthy, hoping things stay that way and that she can continue to build on things this season. She's just had such a tough career battling injuries and different things, so hoping she can stay healthy and have a strong season, so pulling for you, Skylar. On the men's side, David Friedberg ran away with the competition from round 1, getting over 66 meters, and in his final throw, 68.17. So he now has the NAIA national lead and takes the win, beating out, Ahmed and Callan. I was thinking we're going to have big throws, but Ahmed Magor, he's been around a long time, like I've said before, so it's going to be tough for him to be able to stay healthy, but I really hope he does and he's able to have a strong season. And then Callan Saldudo of Missouri, a recent transfer there, I've been told he just ran out of runway on his throws, and so he's fine and looking for some big throws down the road. He just needs a few more feet to not foul, so looking forward to seeing Callan back on the runway soon, put up a big throw. Wanted to shout out Miles Higgins, 67.26 last week at the UNCW home meet. So he now has the school record, new PR for him. And so Miles, shout out Pennsylvania. Always got to shout out to Pennsylvania as a Pennsylvania native. But Miles and Ryan DeBarber at UNCW, just awesome guys. Got to meet them last year when I was traveling down that way for work. Some really great guys, and excited to see the season they have, because they're just going to push each other and certainly trade that school record back and forth maybe a few times. But Miles with the school record right now, 67-26, so congratulations to him. And then finally, closing out the show, we got to shout out Diore Scott of Blue Chip Athletics, Coach Corrington Maycock, always keeping me in the loop on what's going on in the Bahamas. And so Diore producing a monster throw of 49.83, so that is a new meet record at the Bahamas Association of Independent Secondary Schools Championship, and that breaks the record that was held by her teammate Kamara Strawn, who, if you didn't know, is Keyshawn's sister. This throw is also a new Bahamas under-18 national record, and that was previously held by Remo Tabor, who we know is our defending national champion at Nebraska. So Diore, a monster throw. The trajectory of her and that whole group under Coach Corrington is just doing fantastic. So if you don't follow him, I recommend you do. You're going to see some great throwing. And with that, really appreciate everybody watching today's show. Really appreciate everybody that sent me stuff. It's a lot easier when I get sent things as opposed to having to dig for it myself. I would estimate about 15 hours worth of work to produce this video, between, following the live results on my phone and logging things in my phone and building the graphics, building the script, sitting in my car here, filming this video, going to edit that video down, implementing it with the graphics, exporting it, putting it on YouTube. Oh yeah, I need to make the thumbnail look good, all that stuff, if you know anything about YouTube. So it is very, very time consuming. So any help that I get from the community just goes a long way. So I really appreciate that. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Certainly don't expect this every week, but if occasionally I can make something, that would be great. So hopefully you've enjoyed. And as always, remember to enjoy the journey.